we're losing American jobs. We've lost over 500,000 American jobs over the past 12 years, and that's a staggering statistic, one that we want to change. So I'm urging consumers to look for the Made in the USA label. It's an easy thing to do, and make that purchase.
All right.
You know, to save the American economy. That's what we're all talking about these days.
We've got to get them to be excited,
Exactly.
And we're going to do that this morning with some fashion. So let's get started with Made in the USA.
Great. We're going to start with Ivy. Ivy starts her day by not just sleeping late, but looking great in this soft American beauty red fleece robe trimmed in plaid. Underneath, she's sporting a pair of sleep shorts with a matching nightshirt and a festive holiday theme by Joe Boxer Girlfriend. Joe Boxer is known for his fun line of boxers for men that can be worn in or out, and now has a new line of boxers for women, which I love. I think that's great. I love
Does it say ho-ho girlfriend?
Yeah, ho-ho girlfriend. I think that's great. This is Kathy. Inspired by the Wild West, nothing is as all-American, of course, as denim. And today's denim looks are more exciting than ever. Here we put a USA-made light blue denim jacket from Guess Jeans with a matching long Impressions ruffled blouse. Vests are back, and this Judy Knapp multicolored design is just the right accent to complete this denim look, topped off with a great hat at, believe it or not, $12. That's Kathy.
Nice, Kathy.
Great.
I like that look.
I love that. I think that's...
Whoa. This is great.
This is great. This is Lena. Menswear for women is another Made in America look making a comeback. And this haberdashery ensemble is topped with an updated classic winter swing coat by Leslie Faye. I think that's super.
That's a great looking coat.
Under this warm coat is a charcoal gray suit from Jones, New York, matched with a blouse from Cherokee. We've taken the hard edge out of man tailoring with a feminine pin by 1928 Jewelry Company on Lena's jewel tone tie, and topped it off with a fedora softened with a chiffon bow. And of course we saw the pearls, so I think that's great too. Feminine touch. Thank you, Lena.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Lena. Great look.
I like this look too.
Yeah.
Classic.
Wahoo!
Continuing fashion's love affair with the cowboy-inspired looks, our trendy cowgirl Diane puts together her Western look with the latest in jeans, colored denim. Instead of the predictable blue, her jeans are Café au Lait by Michelle. The cowgirl ensemble is perfectly complemented with a Western-style embroidered washed denim shirt by Mars and Me, and topped with a brown cowboy-style hat trimmed in black. I think that's great. Yay.
Good look.
Diane?
Whoops, now we move into the evening.
And the great thing about these fashions really is that they go from day into night. And here we see the evening wear. Tamara looks dynamite in this patriotic firework red strapless column dress by Nikki. We've added some pyrotechnics to this classic look with an explosive pearl and gold necklace by Marvella. And it's really a classic look, and I think it looks great on her. Tamara. Absolutely beautiful. I love red, too.
Well, now, before we bring our models back and take one last look at the fashions, I've got the crown here.
There it is.
Speaking of fashion, will you tell me, why is it so difficult to get this thing absolutely perched properly on the head of the Miss America-elect as she walks down the ramp?
Yeah.
You'd think after all these years that they'd be able to they'd be able to design. I mean, is it just a matter of a couple of hairpins or what?
A couple of hairpins. Sometimes they'll put tape on the bottom and just kind of stick it on there.
Because they always wind up walking down the ramp and cockeyed or something.
We've got our hair coiffed a little bit, and it's kind of hard to do it, but we get it on. And it's the nerves, the excitement, and of course that Miss America kind of doesn't want to give that crown, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Now, you know, with all the traveling you do, and I notice you can't miss your ribbon there, and that was your platform, as a matter of fact.
Yes, AIDS awareness.
Your campaigning for Miss America.
That's right. AIDS awareness and education is my platform, and as I travel my 20,000 miles a month, I am spreading the message of AIDS awareness. Very important to me. It's touched my own life with friends of mine who are living with AIDS, something that's very important to me and significant in my own life. So I'm teaching other people. It's important to me.
You know, it used to be, when I was growing up, Miss America didn't say anything that wasn't, I mean, carefully cleared and to the extent that they were really coached on what they could say. Today, you tend to be a little bit more outspoken. Is there anything that the pageant is concerned about when it comes to young women? Because you really do represent a sizable segment of our population.
I think the most wonderful thing about the Miss America organization is it's moving along with the 90s. It's, you know, talking about AIDS is something our society has to do. And the Miss America organization recognizes that. So they haven't put any restrictions on me, and that's great. But we really are a 90s organization promoting the 90s woman. And the 90s woman does exactly what she wants to do, feels how she wants to feel, and promotes her own self and works for social causes. And that's what I'm doing as Miss America.
Now, they also provide, I think, unless it's changed, it's the largest scholarship for women in the country. Fashions.
Those are great.
Looking good, girls.
Welcome to John and Lisa. royal day today.
Well, it looks like you dressed for it. May I say you look stunning today. You look very
thank you.
wedding-y.
It's a wedding day. We're talking weddings and marriage, and there's love and romance in the air here on our stage today. Can you feel it? Don't you feel it, everybody?
Can you feel it?
Yeah. Give you a peek at what the most talked about.
Did you know the most expensive wedding on record was given by Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum of Dubai? For his son in 1981, it lasted 7 days at an estimated cost of $44 million.
How did they do that?
Wow.
$44 million.
What could you even do to put on a bash for that much
I
money?
don't know. Do you want to see that love scene again?
I'm very upset about this love scene with
It's just professional.
Was she naked?
I don't think so. No, they wear like body stockings and things.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say no.
But if she was wearing a body stocking, what would it have been? Like down the middle right here? Because she looked naked to me.
Well, that's the whole film thing. You know, she's supposed to look naked.
I'm just going to have to get on the phone and call Steve about this just as soon as we get off the air. We're talking weddings. And there are the rumors.
We can roll it up again if you want.
No, I'm fine. I just was getting a little bit upset. We're talking about rumors of these celebrity weddings that might happen this weekend with JFK and Daryl Hannah, of course. And once you confirm that it's happening or not happening, the very next thing that people want to talk about is, what will the bride be wearing?
And so, here with his view on what this year's most talked about brides may choose for that walk down the aisle, please welcome fashion consultant Leon Hall. Leon.
Hi. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So let's dish a little bit about brides, shall we?
Well, let's talk about just the brides of the 90s, because if you talk about the bad brides of the last decade...
We don't have enough time.
We don't have enough time. It'd be terrible. But I don't want to talk about bad brides. I want to talk about what I think was one of the most beautiful wedding dresses of the 90s, and that was Connie Selica's.
Mrs. Tesh.
Mrs. Tesh, because they're two guys, and they call their company Duran, and they did her dress, and I thought it was really one of the most beautiful wedding dresses of the 90s.
It is a fabulous dress, but you know what? It would not have been as beautiful on anyone else. It was just
She did help her a lot.
It's
That's
true.
I agree.
It was elegant.
It was perfect
and
for her, and
simple
she was perfect for the dress, and that's really what it should be.
I want to
And
know
no
what
one
happens.
noticed John at all. Were you at
I
that
wasn't
wedding?
even in that. No. In fact, that wasn't in any of the pictures either. It was just... I want to know what happens to these dresses, though. They just put them away and that's it.
Well, the good ones they want to save and pass on, but most of the ones that have been worn in the 90s, just put them in the rubbish. Let's talk about, well, I'll tell you. Let's talk about what Julia Roberts wore for her wedding.
Why not? Everyone else talked
Everyone
about
else did, because it looked like she just crawled out of bed at the local Holiday Inn and pulled the bed sheets together.
it. Leon, you're brutal.
No, I'm honest. You know, she's a movie star. She didn't wear shoes.
Well, neither
Which
did
is
Kim
bad looking.
Basinger.
Well, she was married in the sand. Well, Kim Basinger was my next girl to talk about, actually. They didn't even know they were coming to the wedding. They knew it, but the people who were invited to the wedding in the Hamptons didn't know it. And, you know, she's never been my favorite person about dressing either. She doesn't pull her act together too good. So I thought the fact that she got married in the sand was a real help for her. I thought that sort of pushed her along just
See,
fine.
my husband thinks Kim Basinger's so gorgeous that she could be wearing a burlap sack and it would have been
Or
perfect.
just, well, maybe a well-fitted, deep-cut burlap sack would really work on her. Now, then one of my least favorite dresses was worn in the 90s by Roseanne Arnold. And that was, I don't know how I feel about nipples at temple, but I have a real problem because that's how low-cut the woman's dress was. And I thought the rabbi should have said, just put a little cloth over that, sister. We can't have that happening. But that was one of the worst dresses of the 90s.
She was proud.
She was proud of yes. And
Why don't we move on?
Why don't we move on to Mariah Carey, who spent an absolute fortune. She's a wonderful-looking girl. I thought she had way too much hair because, you know, when you have the headdress and you have the train and you have the bridal veil and you have all that going on, get rid of all that party hair. And she wore shoes that cost over $1,000. Now, I don't know what the heck you can do to a pair of shoes to make them... They didn't last any longer than anyone else. But those were some of what I thought the good and a lot of disasters of the 90s were.
Maybe they were the original glass slippers. They were Cinderellas or
Well,
something.
she should hang on to those a lot. They will be auctioned off years to come. But
She
you know,
did have that tiara, that Princess Di thing, too.
and all that hair, party hair.
The hair.
Let's get to this fashion show thing.
Let's talk about people who are getting married right now, which is sort of interesting because there's, well, rumored that this weekend, Daryl Hannah and John F. Kennedy Jr. are going to get married. Now, Daryl Hannah is one of those people who shops at swap meets and garage sales. So we don't want to get, well, the best she ever looked was when she made the movie Splash and she was underwater the whole time. That was when she really looked good. So we don't want to give Mrs. Onassis, who is one of the greatest beauties and best dressed people in the world, we don't want to give her a total rigor. So I went out and I found this dress for Daryl Hannah. And look and see how you think it looks. I think it's beautiful.
It does look like something she might wear.
It's very contemporary. It's by an English designer who's new to the bridal business. Her name is Helen Morley, and it's embroidered with stars, and it's a halter, and it's just new and wonderful, and I'd like to see Daryl Hannah look like that.
Our audience is
Isn't that
obviously not
beautiful?
behaving themselves.
They like to tell. Then let me
Throw
tell
it
you.
nicely, nicely.
Oprah has been on a diet. She's been doing marathons. She's been running. She's been in training. She's lost about 60 pounds. So she and Stedman are coming up for their ceremony. And I'll tell you what I did. All those expensive Mariah Carey shoes, on all the models, I saved them and almost enough money to pay for the wedding dress because I put them in shoes by Kenny, and they cost considerably less. This wedding dress is from the House of Bianchi, and I think it's perfect for Oprah. It's slim, it's beautiful, it has, you know, it has an English sort of feeling about it. It's traditional, but really, really beautiful.
Very elegant.
Now, Pamela Anderson of Baywatch, one of the bodies of Hollywood, is getting married. And
She's marrying Chachi.
She's marrying Scott Bow, exactly right. And I thought I would give her this wonderful company. Now, look at this wedding dress. It's really not just a wedding dress. This is designed by Esther Williams.
Check this out.
The skirt changes, and after the wedding ceremony, we go out on the beach, and all we have to worry about is the swimsuit that's underneath, and that's Esther Williams.
Hi, this is incredible. Now, she has the body that she could do this.
If you don't have a body, then you instantly just fall apart and disappear from the face of the earth. Now then, talk about traditional. Princess Caroline is getting married again. It's interesting that all these people that are getting married, it's not just young 18-year-old girls in white dresses. We're talking about a woman who's already been married 3 times, no matter how much pull she has with the Pope to get it annulled all those times. This is the 3rd marriage. And she's marrying an actor, Vincent Landin. And she's getting married at the Cathedral of St. Nicholas in Monte Carlo. And I went to American designer Bob Evans, and I chose something, because they've always dressed in couture. I think he's the essence of beautiful bridal wear, Bob Evans. And that's the way I see her getting married in her wedding dress.
This is stunning. Now, since it's not her first marriage, would it be okay to have a train and a long veil and wear this color?
All of the accoutrements are fine, but it's not white, it's gold, and it's ivory, and it's French vanilla, and it works perfectly.
It's French vanilla, John. It's not just off-white.
Not just
it's
off-white.
French vanilla.
That's because she's in Monte Carlo.
By the way, she's marrying the Chachi of Monte Carlo.
The Chachi of Monte Carlo, that's true.
This really works. I think I could see Daryl Hannah in this, and Oprah, and Pamela Anderson, and Princess Caroline.
And 4 totally different new ways, I think, for bride. And we hope they'll take our advice. They don't always. Elizabeth Taylor didn't take mine.
But it's fun hearing your opinions always. Leon, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
Nice
ladies.
to see you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. When we come back, gold medalist Bruce Jenner tells why even Olympic training can't prepare you for what marriage, that means 8 kids are going to be hanging around.
8 kids.
Between the 2 of them.
Stay with us. Be right back.